And here's the engine. It's a 3.6 liter, 285 horsepower. I'm gonna take you around the vehicle real quick. Let's start right here. As you can see in there, we have a solid front axle. We have the LED lighting package. I really like that. Fog lights. There are 2 tow hooks on the bumper. And these large 35-inch beadlock wheels on a 17-inch rim. They act like extra shock absorbers. They go over bumps really nicely. Okay, there's the stubby antenna that I put on. There's a Jeep Wrangler logo in black. I really like that. Along the bottom here, we have the rock rails. And if you come down to the bottom, there's also a rear solid axle and the Rubicon shocks. Here's my tow hitch assembly. Have a full 35-inch beadlock spare tire back here. And here's the backup camera. And this bracket here really holds this large and heavy tire in place. There's a Jeep logo right there. Go Air Force. On this gas cap. Now, when you get one of these, you're not going to have that gas cap on there. You'll get that. I purchased this here from Amazon for about 24 bucks. Took about 15 minutes to install. Had these fender flares. I really like those. It's really slick. Let me show you what's back here. There's plenty of room. If you've been following some of my videos, I took this on a road trip a few months back, and this was more than enough. There's that large subwoofer I talked about earlier. I have storage in here. 12-volt DC outlet. Plenty of hooks in here to tie stuff down. It's a Jeep. And it's interior painted to match the outside. Makes sense because if I take the top off, you want this to match the outside color, right? There's also a recovery hook right there, okay? Take a look at the back seat. They have netting back here. That's really solid. I like the way this feels. Cloth seats on the inside. It is spacious back here. I'm 6'2", 215 pounds. And I have plenty of legroom back here. In fact, on my road trip, I sat back here and edited videos, and it's just nice. You have pockets here to put stuff in. It's really solid material back here. Everything is solid. These seats are like top notch. Handles I mentioned earlier. We have vents here for AC heating. Cup holders, rubber mats. These seats, they do fold down. They fold forward, and the latch is right there. See, so I can take that, pull it down. And the same thing for the middle one and the one over there. And I have all that cargo space. In fact, on my road trip, I let this came down, this came forward, that came forward, and I placed a foam mattress back here, and I was very comfortable. The lights up here, there's a speaker there, and there's a speaker there. Look at the size of those speakers. They did a nice job here. All this is just so nice. Solid. We're talking quality here, people. Quality. The seats are manually adjusted. This lever here allows me to move the seat up and down. It's like a crank. This right here, when I pull it forward, allows me to adjust this forward or back, this entire seat, top portion of it. And right here in the front, there's a lever here. When I pull that, or pull it down rather, it allows me to move the seat forward or backwards. Let's look at some of these controls before I turn on the vehicle. Over here we have the left-right exterior mirror control. We have the light switch here and fog light. I'll come back to the wheel here in a moment. Over here, we have some analog controls. We have the volume control for the stereo system. We have the front and rear defogger. This button here is turns on the heated steering wheel. This turns on the heated seats for the driver's side. We have an analog temperature control here. The red increases the temperature, the blue lowers it. And we have the same thing on the right-hand side for the passenger temperature controls. This button here controls the airflow, the vent airflow for the passenger. We have the heat control for the passenger side, AC on-off switch, and this is the air circulation control here. Down here, the mute button, this mutes the stereo system. This button here with the A on it, that's the assisted stop. And this freaked me out when I first had it turned on. When the vehicle comes to a stop and this is activated, the engine just turns off. And when it first happened to me, I'm thinking, man, I just got this vehicle, what's going on? But I like this because it conserves fuel. This is the swerve control button, the hazard light button. This is the downhill assist button. And this button right here lets me turn off the screen here. Down below, I have a 12-volt outlet. There's one also in the rear. I have 4 aux switches here, and I'm using one right now. This is aux 1 is used for the tow hitch in the back. So I'm only using aux 1. And this is the media port here. There are 2 USB ports in there and an auxiliary port. In fact, I need to plug something in here. I have a USB stick here that I have over 5,000 songs on it. I'm a smooth jazz freak here, so I keep all my music on that, and it's what I use. Sometimes I'll plug in my iPhone and listen to music through that, but that's that. Along the front here, there are 4 vents. There's one right there, one here, and there are 2 here, and I have them closed. And I really like this. I love this right here. And if we come down in the front here, there's a little storage compartment in there. This is the 2H, 4H, neutral, and 4-wheel drive shifter. Your normal mode is going to be in 2H. To get it down here into the 4-low or 4-wheel drive, the vehicle has to be moving forward at least 5 miles an hour. Then you would move this from 2H down through 4H over to the right into neutral and then down to 4-low. It's quicker than the way I said it. Okay, over here we have our shifter, park, reverse, neutral, manual, and drive. I like that little Jeep logo on there. I like it just feels good, that, and the details here. Get my gloves out the way. Cup holders. Here's our brake set here. And right to my right here, we have a storage compartment. It's very deep, and this feels real nice. There's an upper compartment and a lower compartment. Here's the upper compartment. I just keep this stuff in here like gum. And this is the main compartment. And in there, there's also a USB port right there, and I have a USB cable plugged into that. And what I'll do with this here is I'll plug my iPhone into this and put my iPhone in there, and I can use CarPlay, which is very nice. So let's put that back in there. This has an Alpine 9-speaker system in it. It's 552 watts, 12 channels, and this thing kicks. There's a subwoofer in the back, and I'll show you that in a few moments. I love these handles. You got there's two here in the front, one here, and one over there, and in the back for any passengers. There's one over there to the right, and there's one directly behind me right there. We have the vanity mirrors on both the driver's side and the passenger side. Same thing. That's over here. These latches up here will remove this portion of the roof up here above me. And I don't plan on using the soft top. I have it in storage. Maybe one day I'll try it when it gets warm, but I like the hard top, even though it's very easy to place it on there, but I just like the hard top. That's just my preference. Okay, let's start this thing up, and let me show you some of the controls here in the front. Here's the infotainment system. This is really nice. I love this. And before I get to that, let me talk about the controls here in the front. Now, there are both analog and digital controls. We have the RPMs. Over to the right, we have an analog speedometer. In the middle, there are controls here that are digital in different pages. I'll show you that in a few moments. This is the page control. This is the call control here. Over here is the cruise control. We have the front and rear wiper control right here, and directionals. Behind the steering wheel, on this side and also over here, there are buttons, and I don't think I can get the camera back there to see them, but the button that's behind this part of the steering wheel, right where my finger is, right in there, if I press on that, that's going to control different functions on this right here. For example, if I'm playing music, in fact, let me show you. Right now, there's a guy by the name of LeBron who's playing. His song is Red Hook. I'm gonna tap that button and change the song. See? Now, the button on this side, in the same location, right down there, I can increase the volume. So you can see that the volume is set right up here. See there? All right, that's pretty slick. And let's see what's going on here. I'm feeling some heat, yeah. The reason why is because the steering wheel heat's turned on. That's warm, so I'm gonna turn that off. I can turn that off via the analog control, or I can turn it off here. In fact, let me show you that. I'm gonna go into the control section up here. And as you can see, the driver's side seat is on, and also the heated wheel is on. So I'm gonna tap that, and now it's off. It went off down here. Now I'm gonna turn this off. The driver's heating control is at the highest level. Oops, let's go back in there. Okay, it's at the highest level. I'm gonna tap on that. It's on medium now. 2 LEDs. Tap it again, it's on the low setting. 1 LED. I'm gonna tap it again, and that turns it off. Okay, that's off. And the same thing will occur for the passenger side. That can be controlled down here or up there. Okay. Let's put it back on. Let's go to the climate one. And this allows either the passenger or the driver to manipulate the AC temperature or the heating temperature. You can do it digitally, or you can do it with these controls down here that I spoke of earlier, the analog controls. So if I tap on, right now I'm sitting at 79 degrees on my side. So if I tap on this blue one, I can bring this down, see? Or I can come here and just tap it here and do the same thing. And the exact same thing here for the passenger side. This allows airflow to come out the vent at the top. This allows airflow to come at the top and the bottom. And right now I have it set to where airflow is coming down at my feet. And this allows airflow to come down at the feet, and there's some air circulation also. Okay, so let's go down here to where I can manipulate this. Now as I do that, that is just increases the fan. Right now the fan is set to 2. If I tap on 3, that increases the fan speed, but I can come down here and do the same thing. And you can observe up here as I manipulate this control. Put down 4, see? I'm gonna turn that down. Okay, we just saw controls. Here, there's a mirror dimmer. So I can dim the mirror here. There's a backup camera right there. Now there is some condensation on it right now because it is pretty cold outside and the vehicle is running, so there's exhaust hitting the cold air, so that's why we have that. And just tap that X up there, bring it back to here. There's some settings here, I won't go into that. Tap on apps. There are tons of apps in here. There's a travel link. I can manipulate the driver's heat. There's a passenger heat projection manager. This also has a Wi-Fi hotspot if I enable that and configure it. There is an assist, send and go, off-road pages. I'll talk about that in a few moments on the steering wheel. There's an app manager, and you just saw the backup cam. There's a navigation system in here, which is pretty slick as well. So if I want to go to, say, my hometown or place of birth, Racine, Wisconsin, I'll type that in, Racine. Let's see if it'll find it just with that information, and I'm gonna tap on OK. Searching, found it, Racine, Wisconsin. If I tap on that, it'll give me the map, and I just tap on route to go, and a nice lady's voice will talk to me and get me there. Racine from where I live here is 622 miles. I like using Waze. So what I'll do is I'll connect my iPhone to either a port here, USB port, or like I mentioned earlier, the USB port in the storage compartment, and CarPlay will come up, and I will enable the Waze app on my iPhone, and it will display here as well. And this information, tapping the X to go back, emergency, there's navigation settings. The phone right now, you can see my phone is on 4G. I'm getting very good signal through Bluetooth. Tap on settings here. I can manipulate a whole lot of settings on this vehicle. Almost everything I can configure. Right now, everything is set to default. I haven't touched anything in there. Let's go back to media. And I have a Sirius XM in here, so let's tap on that. NFL radio is up and running right now.
In the last 40 years, in the
CNN.
more efficient truck to save on fuel.
And there are just tons of stations I can enable in here. I can browse and look at all these different stations that I can select. I can filter by genre. I like smooth jazz and some deep house, so I'll simply go through here and find them. If you guys have had Sirius XM, then you know what I'm talking about. I love it. And let's go back to media. And right now, what's playing is music off of my USB stick down here. Now, I'm gonna tap on audio right here. And I can come in here and I can configure different things such as the balance fade. And right now I have the speakers, more of the sound coming out of the front than I do the back. Because that subwoofer back there kicks, man. It really does kick. And the equalizer here, I have that set. Now, the white lines are showing everything flat. I have the bass set below the flat area. My mid-ranges are flat. I have my treble set high because I like to hear cymbals and clashes, and you know, I like that. I like the high sounds there. All right, let's tap on the X and go back out. At the top up here is showing the temperature on the driver's side. At present, it's 72 degrees over here, and over to the on the passenger side, it's at 75 degrees. Let's make those the same. So I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna tap on that blue analog button, and let's bring that down. All right, so they're both the same. And source select lets me select whatever. Right now I'm using USB 1. This is USB port 1. And what's in the storage compartment is USB 2. If I use my phone, I would select Bluetooth. And I have music on my phone as well, and other things on my phone that I might want to use. At present, I'm using USB 1. And there's some storage compartments up here in the front. And there's a glove compartment down here, lockable. Here we have the page control. And this lets me manipulate certain settings in here. And so let's take a look at that. I'm going to press on that upward arrow there. And you can see what I'm talking about. So let's go in here, pressing. And that shows the speedometer. This is the default setting that I have it set for. If I tap it again, this allows me to set up the screen, as it says there, screen setup. Press OK to enter. Screen setup, so I'm gonna press OK here. It's my first time doing this. And this is what I get. So I'm gonna press exit to go back out of it. I'm not gonna do anything right now. Or I'm back. And pressing the up arrow again. This shows any messages that I would have stored in here. I pressed again. This shows the audio. So right now, you see there, Chris Bodie is playing, and the name of his song is called You Are Not Alone. And that's what it says right there. So I don't use that, but it also shows that I'm using USB port number 1. Tapping again. This lets me do the stop start. Now the engine right now is off, and I'm using the accessory right now. Tapping again. And this gives some trip information here. I reset this 3 days ago, and so since 3 days I've traveled 40.4 miles. And I tap it again, and this shows fuel economy. Now it's not showing anything right now because the engine is not turned on. Let me turn it on. Let's see if it will show anything here. So I had it turned off because I didn't want any noise to get to the camera. All right, so it's showing the average MPG is 11.6, and but I've been averaging between 19 miles per gallon in the city and about 21 on the highway. So what you see right there is not accurate. There's a compass up there as well. The vehicle is pointing to the northeast, and to the right of that, you see the temperature. It is 43 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is warming up. I left the house about 2 hours ago, and it was at 35 degrees. And you see the digital fuel gauge over there to the right. I'm just above half a tank. Let's tap on this again. And it shows my off-road parameters, and right now I'm not off-road, so there's nothing to see here. But if I was off-road, then you would be able to see my my drivetrain, what's going on with it. Tapping again shows vehicle information. All 4 of my tires are set at 36 PSI, and that's based on the temperature. Those settings can fluctuate depending on how warm it is or how cold it is outside. And if I tap it again, it'll take me back out to the default setting of miles per hour. If I tap the OK button, that will toggle between kilometers, tapping again, and miles per hour. This is such a fun vehicle to drive, and it's very comfortable. It's a very windy day, so what you're hearing there is it's wind noise. But there you have it. This is my more detailed review of my 2022 Jeep Wrangler High-Tide Unlimited. You guys take care.